Hey snobs, it's Christmas 2025 and you're watching Does It Suck? The series where we revisit forgotten films, underrated oddities, cult classics, and box office disasters to ask the big question, does it suck? Today we're diving into one of the most ambitious and most infamous holiday movies ever made, Santa Claus the movie, released in 1985. Let's fly the sleigh into the past and see what really happened. This one is dedicated to Len. The film attempts something rare, a full Santa Claus origin story. We see Claus the woodcutter chosen by the elves becoming the immortal Santa. But that's just the first half. The second half follows Patch, played by Dudley Moore, whose attempt to modernize toy making leads him to New York City and into the clutches of the corrupt toy tycoon, played with glorious insanity by John Lithgow. It's part mythic fantasy, part 80s corporate satire, and part children's adventure. Santa Claus the movie was produced by the team behind the original Superman films, Alexandria and Ilya Salkinds, and they brought the same level of spectacle. They built giant practical sets, including a full-scale North Pole workshop and one of the most elaborate Santa sleigh rigs ever made. The budget ballooned to nearly $50 million, massive for 1985. Dudley Moore was the first actor cast. The Salkinds wanted him to be the emotional core of the film. The flying sleigh sequences used the same optical technology pioneered in Superman, which is why it still have that dreamy, glowy 80s fantasy look. And here's a fun fact behind the scenes. John Lithgow reportedly said that this was a movie where he had the most fun chewing the scenery in his entire career. When the film hit theaters in 1985, critics sledded right over it. Reviews called it overly sentimental, oddly paced, and muddled, trying to be two different movies stitched together. It also underperformed at the box office in the US, though it did well in international markets where big colorful fantasy films were thriving. But, and this is a big holiday but, audiences, especially kids, were captivated. If you were a child in the 80s and the 90s, there's a good chance this movie was on every December, becoming a staple of holiday nostalgia. Today it has a strong cult following among fans who love its earnestness, its sweeping production, and that unmistakable 80s fantasy vibe. 40 years later, Santa Claus the movie stands out as one of the most visually ambitious Christmas films ever attempted, long before CGI took over the North Pole. It's the rare holiday film that feels truly epic, mixing mythology, whimsy, and absurd villainy. And while it's divisive, it has something today's movies rarely attempt: sincerity on a massive scale. So does Santa Claus the movie suck? Honestly, I don't think it sucks, but it is weird. It's one that never really resonated with me, and that's why I wanted to try it again for this show. I do think it has special qualities to it though, and I do think it has a place in the Christmas movie pantheon. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. Thanks for joining me on this Christmas 2025 edition of Does It Suck? If you enjoyed the show, smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Scene Snobs channel. Join our Patreon to help support the channel. The links are down below. And follow us at the Scene Snobs all over social media and over on LETTERBOXD. Thank you guys so much. Stay festive, stay safe, have a good Christmas, Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa. But until then, be kind, rewind, and take care. Bye.